Tonight on CTV News at 6. It's a major north-south corridor.
Yes, we're hoping that the province will pick up on this and bring it upon themselves to say, hey, we need to sit down with Magnetawan and deal with this issue also.
The community wants the province to resolve a land claim. State of mining event.
It's great news for Timmins because we're sitting on what is now the world's largest nickel sulfide district.
The CEO of Canada Nickel speaks in front of a business-friendly crowd in Timmins. And he survived the Humboldt Broncos bus crash.
Mental health is not a battle to be won, it's a journey to continue walking and finding your people that can help you walk.
Tyler Smith talks to North Bay students about resiliency through the darkest of times.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Tuesday, March 10th. A nearly 2-year investigation has led to manslaughter charges for a Sault Ste. Marie man. Police charged a 37-year-old man with manslaughter and trafficking in connection to the sudden death of 35-year-old Josh Tovet in August 2023. Tovet was found in the 100 block of LaSalle Court just before 9 a.m. In December of that year, a forensic pathologist determined the cause of death was by fentanyl intoxication. The suspect was arrested and charged yesterday. Police say this is the third time a drug poisoning death has resulted in criminal charges. An intimate partner violence case led to the arrest of a 28-year-old man and the seizure of a replica gun. Greater Sudbury Police started their investigation Saturday, leading to a search warrant today. The replica gun was found in the home and the suspect was arrested without incident. The man faces multiple weapons charges as well as utter threats. A First Nation south of Sudbury wants the province to deal with its land claim issue before the community provides other property towards widening Highway 69. We get the details from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
Magnetawan First Nation wants Highway 69 to be widened to 4 lanes. They just want the province to resolve their other land issue first. They've been waiting on that one for 5 years.
Magnetawan First Nation is not holding back the expansion of 69. We're not. As far as the land claim, yes, we're hoping that the province will pick up on this and bring it upon themselves to say, hey, we need to sit down with Magnetawan and deal with this issue also.
The province wants to finish 4-laning the final 68 kilometers of the highway, but needs 150 acres of land from Magnetawan, as well as land from Henvey Inlet and Shawanaga First Nations. But before Magnetawan agrees to provide land for the highway, it wants the province to respond to a land claim it filed in 2021. Magnetawan claims the boundaries under the 1850 Robertson-Huron Treaty were not properly set out.
They did the survey in miles rather than leagues. And leagues is worth more than miles. So that's where we got shortchanged.
The chief says negotiations with the Canadian government have been going well, but there's been radio silence from Ontario's Ministry of Indigenous Affairs. Magnetawan's lawyer isn't sure how long it could take to work out the land claim.
The history of this country, the history of this province is no rubber stamp. The length of time that First Nations have to endure fighting for what they believe and what they state in good faith are their legal rights is beyond any rubber stamp I've seen in 48 years in the justice system.
Magnetawan isn't discussing the amount of land connected to the claim.
But we are definitely a growing community and we need the land. We need more homes.
CTV reached out to the Ministry of Indigenous Affairs but did not hear back by our deadline. Magnetawan First Nation is adamant it's not blocking the expansion of Highway 69. They've met several times with the Ministry of Transportation to discuss the land meant for the 4-laning. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Magnetawan First Nation.
The Timmins business community got an update today from Canada Nickel. The company's Crawford Nickel project, located north of Timmins, was the first mining project in Canada to receive fast-track designations from the provincial and federal governments. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
The Timmins Chamber of Commerce hosted a State of Mining luncheon and received an update from Canada Nickel's Chief Executive Officer. Mark Selby explained how it's helped to have both the province and the federal government name it a nation-building project.
So, investors potential customers, potential partners around the world, see that endorsement, and we had great conversations before. They just took another big step forward. And then on the permitting side, having effectively the concierge service, best way to describe it is, we're well down the permitting path with both the feds and the province.
Once all permits are in place, the company hopes to begin construction by the end of this year. Selby says tensions in the Middle East make projects like this even more important.
The only way you can have a material is if you're able to source it locally. So it's great news for Timmins because we're sitting on what is now the world's largest nickel sulfide district.
Selby's update was well received by the Bucket Shop, a manufacturer and repair facility in Timmins.
Major game changer. I mean, for anybody within the region, right? I mean, at the Bucket Shop, we built for expansion, we built for growth, we built for these kinds of projects, and we built them ahead of time.
And Matagami First Nation Chief Jennifer Constant described Selby as one of the nice ones in the mining industry.
Mark understands the relationship that is necessary and the need to build on that. They've come to us early, they've had discussions with us, they've proposed different things that, different funding opportunities for our First Nation to be able to access to better equip us in our talks with them.
Selby says the company is also pushing forward with its carbon capture efforts and is working with the University of Texas and the Department of Energy. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A survivor of the deadly 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash is in North Bay for the next few days, talking to students about resiliency and not giving up when the chips are down. CTV's Eric Tashner caught up with Tyler Smith today.
I never thought I would end up coaching.
Resiliency even through the darkest of times. That's the message Tyler Smith hopes to share with North Bay students over the next couple of days.
Having conversations with 13-year-olds about survivor's guilt is something that I never thought I would have to have conversations about.
Smith survived the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. He has no memory of the tragedy that claimed the lives of his 16 teammates, coaches, and other staff members. He considers that lack of recollection a blessing in disguise, as the tragedy marked a turning point in his life.
During the hard days, what gets me through, I think people, that's probably one of the biggest reasons as to why I keep doing this is, there's a lot of really amazing people in the world.
After recovering from his physical injuries, he returned to the Broncos for 10 games. Now he goes on cross-country speaking tours, talking to children and adults about the path towards reflection, healing, and self-discovery.
Mental health is not a battle to be won, it's a journey to continue walking and finding your people that can help you walk.
Smith will be speaking to students at 4 schools as part of a youth symposium hosted by the North Bay Police, and there will be mental health support services on site for anyone who needs additional help.
Mental health is such a concern in the community in general, no matter your age. Give them that hope and that permission that it's okay to put your hand up and ask for help and to talk to people.
Today, he joined the Lions family for a ceremonial puck drop at the Jack Lyons Memorial Hockey Exhibition. He says he wants to inspire others to talk about their ongoing battles, as speaking about them will help get through the pain.
Everyone's fighting something and everyone's got a story, and I think, we can't compare our stories. We got to find a common ground.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Cochrane's École Catholique Nouveau Regard sent students home March 4th around noon after a structural issue within the school. The school has since sent an update to parents saying the engineering team has pinpointed the problem areas on the roof and snow removal is ongoing. In a translated statement, the Director of Education and Secretary-Treasurer said, "We can't begin inspecting the inside of the school until the troublesome roof sections are cleared of snow. This means we won't have a full picture of the work needed until we receive the engineer's inspection results. We hope to have a more complete update by Wednesday." The school board says students are learning from home and will continue to until the school can reopen. That is not expected to happen before March break. The owners of a mall in downtown Sudbury have won a decades-long legal battle. Elm Place Mall has been awarded more than $900,000 in compensation 12 years after Zellers closed almost a full year before its lease ended. Vista Sudbury bought the mall in 2001 and dropped the vacancy rate by 20% by the end of 2003. The increase in tenants supported Zellers at the time, raising annual profits by more than $1 million. Despite better sales, the retailer pulled out of the mall in February 2004 with little warning, setting back the growth and redevelopment of the mall. Vista was awarded lost revenue from various leases related to Zellers' closure. Okay, let's talk about the weather, and a blast of winter is coming our way. To tell us more about what we can expect, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, just the facts. We've got rain, freezing drizzle, some ice pellets, some snow, a combination of everything over the course of the next couple of days, and even a few sunny breaks in some communities, depending on where you live. Our systems map right now, take a look at the mess that it's about to infiltrate Northeastern Ontario. More snow to the north and some mixed precipitation to the south. We'll get into the current conditions, the 7-day forecast, and a lot more. But it's going to be messy between now and Sunday. Some communities will get the break with the sunshine for a day or two. So, Tony, stick around for the details. They may be harsh, but it is the truth. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Innovative thinking still to come on CTV News at 6. The province is helping fund cancer research in Sudbury. Right now, though, we're heading to Sault Ste. Marie and the bridge linking the Twin Saults. This live webcam is courtesy of the International Bridge Administration. It's 2 Celsius. We'll return in a few minutes.
Tomorrow.
That's the smoking gun.
Video that shows criminals faking crashes for insurance money.
More of the challenges that we're facing is that they're getting very sophisticated.
An inside look at the fight against the fraudsters driving up your premiums. W5 investigates tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
A $1.1 million investment from the Ontario government is accelerating groundbreaking cancer research and innovation in Sudbury. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Dr. Amadeo Parasanti is the Chief Scientific Officer with RNA Diagnostics, a clinical stage molecular diagnostics company operating its laboratory at Health Sciences North Research Institute. His work started back in 2008.
When I first came to Sudbury, and this is indicating how long this process takes, I was a bit surprised to hear that the majority of patients who get treated for breast cancer in particular, but also for other cancers, don't necessarily get a survival benefit from chemotherapy. But there was no way to be able to discern during treatment or before treatment who was going to benefit from chemotherapy and who isn't.
The technology, Veridapt DX, is currently being evaluated through the International Brevity Breast Cancer Response Evaluation for Individualized Therapy clinical trial involving approximately 650 patients across 55 cancer centers in 7 countries.
We've had preliminary results which we released last year that showed the ability of the diagnostic to identify with a 93.3% accuracy non-responders to treatment, which is our major goal: identify non-responders, get them off ineffective of therapy.
An investment of over $1.1 million from NOHFC will allow RNA Diagnostics to advance towards commercialization.
It's one of those examples of where government can work with the private sector, and the two together can create things that either alone often cannot.
As the company prepares for the anticipated completion of the Brevity Phase 2 trial, the funding will support laboratory expansion, accreditation, and regulatory requirements necessary for broader market adoption. The NOHFC investment requires matching private sector funding, and RNA Diagnostics has secured more than $2 million from investors, including the Northern Cancer Foundation, who has supported Parasanti's research for more than 25 years. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The North Shore Health Network is advising residents the Thessalon's emergency department will be closed for the next 3 days. It will be shut down starting tomorrow morning at 8 and will not reopen until Saturday morning. Blind River, Richards Landing, and Sioux Area Hospital will remain open. Telehealth services and virtual access to a nurse practitioner are available for non-emergency cases. For all medical emergencies, call 911. Alan Legier, the serial killer known as the monster of the Miramichi, died in prison in Edmonton yesterday. His death has brought back all kinds of nightmares for New Brunswickers who remember the 7-month rampage when he escaped custody. CTV's Derek Haggett has more.
The death of the monster of the Miramichi was welcome news here today, but it brings back horrible memories.
No, he was a bad guy. That was a place for him. And he's dead now. A lot of people will be happy about that, including myself.
Alan Legier died in an Edmonton prison yesterday. He was 78 years old. He killed 5 people in the late 1980s and terrorized the region.
If you had young children, it was scary to even go outside. You know, that it was a terrifying time. You didn't know where he was.
In 1986, Legier killed a shopkeeper and sexually assaulted his wife. He received a life sentence. Legier escaped custody while at a hospital in Moncton in the spring of 1989. While on the loose for over 6 months, he sexually assaulted and killed 3 women and beat a priest to death. Journalist and author Rick McLean, who wrote extensively about Legier, remembers the time vividly.
We had no Halloween that year. Kids weren't allowed to go outside. The clubs were empty because people were afraid. Everyone was hunkering down, terrified.
Legier was caught in November of 1989 and eventually convicted on 4 counts of first-degree murder. Even though Alan Legier was in a maximum security prison for decades, there was a fear, a reluctance to talk about the man. That wasn't the case today.
Now people in the community might be willing to talk about it, because for all these years people have been saying no. Reporters have come and gone trying to get people to talk about their feelings. People were afraid to be singled out.
People were really tense and it was scary.
Well, I just remember that whereas people used to keep their doors unlocked all the time, all of a sudden they were all locking the doors and making sure, you know, that if they didn't have guns, that they were getting guns.
I remember driving a woman home one night from work. She told me that leave the car running, lock the car doors, here are my keys, go into my house, check every single room and the basement, then I'll go into my house.
Legier was denied full parole last December. The cause of his death has not been released, but the Correctional Service of Canada will review the circumstances. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Miramichi, New Brunswick.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand confirming that her department has helped thousands of Canadians fleeing the war zone in Iran, while others are willing to risk danger to go into Iran. CTV's Adrian Gobriel talked to a Canadian heading to Tehran.
A call to prayer reverberates from Iran across the border through this remote mountain pass. The Kapakoi border crossing sits more than 2,000 meters above sea level. It dates back to the 17th century. Today, it's a critical passage for those entering Turkey from Iran. Since this war began, thousands have stepped across this threshold, exhausted and relieved, including the youngest of travelers.
I thought maybe they're going to attack again, even closer and closer until it gets to my house.
There are also those headed in the opposite direction, into the confines of this conflict.
My mom is in the ICU there, and I have to take care of her, help her, make sure she's still okay. Yeah, I'm going to Iran.
This Canadian, who asked that we keep his name private as he heads into Iran, flew for Montreal. He's crossing the border, headed to Tehran, where his ailing 82-year-old mother is battling Alzheimer's.
So many people are leaving Iran.
Yeah.
You're going in.
Everyone's leaving, and all my friends, my family's telling me not to go because it's a very dangerous situation.
Are you worried about what you might come up against on your journey?
Absolutely. It's dangerous. It's a war zone.
Mehran Amiri has left Iran, headed to Vancouver, where his children live.
They are all of capital I have in my life. I'm waiting for hug them and kiss them.
Forced to pick up the pieces, this is the new reality in Tehran. where rescue workers search for survivors following a deadly strike. And more evidence of the war's widening footprint, remains of an Iranian missile that was intercepted, located on Turkish soil. For the second time in as many weeks, the NATO nation confirming a U.S. Patriot missile system is now operational inside the country. For some who've lived through a life cycle of conflicts, they've seen enough.
Too crazy are fighting, too mad are fighting together, though there is no hope for future.
As this war even hardens the most innocent.
Every day of school, people are begging from God for the war to end.
Though not even the prospect of death can break a son's unwavering commitment to his mother.
I'm just thinking about my mom right now. She's not well, so I got to take care of her.
Propelled in opposite directions, this is a conflict that has done more than just cross borders. It sent thousands down winding roads. The final destination still to be determined. For those on the move, this crossing has grown noticeably more tense. We watched as a military police commander with a heavily armed unit sweep through this location just earlier amid rising security concerns. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Vaughan Province, Turkey.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
A lot of cloud in the northeast this hour. We'll check out some of the temperatures. Not as good as last night. Sorry about that. Forecast radar right now with that system moving into the northeast. Of course, rain, snow, ice pellets, freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and a lot more. Let's check out the current temperatures as we speak right now. Let's begin in Moosonee, as we always do, -15, Cochrane -10, Timmins -7, and Kapuskasing at -9, mainly sunny there. -5 in Chapleau, some sun and cloud. Wawa, mainly cloudy at -3, +2 in the Sioux with the cloud cover. That's all going to change later on this evening. Mainly sunny in Parry Sound at 4, and really a nice night there. Some cloud cover North Bay -5, Temiskaming Shores -6, and Kirkland Lake at -5. Greater Sudbury -5, -6, some cloud. Espanola more of the same, -3, -4, some cloud. Elliott Lake at +3. And Gore Bay at -1. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Of course, our pick of the day and a lot more. You'll get the numbers in detail coming up, Tony, just a couple of minutes away.
Thanks for that, Rick. Will the bombing stop soon in Iran? Next on CTV News at 6. What is U.S. President Trump signaling about the assault on Iran? And shots were fired this morning at the U.S. consulate in Toronto. Was anyone hurt? In Washington, conflicting messages about when the war in Iran will end. President Donald Trump warned Iran not to interfere with international oil shipments, now saying he expects the fighting to end very soon. With more, here's CTV's Joy Melbourne.
The Pentagon with new video bombing Iran's missile launchers and destroying their ammunition stockpiles. A fresh round of attacks. The U.S. says it has hit more than 5,000 targets, including 50 vessels.
Today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says Iran is badly losing and there will be no let-up. This as the Trump administration is sending mixed messages when the conflict will end. The president suggested the war's goals were pretty much complete, telling Republicans,
I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion. How good is our military, right?
Trading threats on social media, Trump told Fox News he's not happy with Iran's new supreme leader, a hardline cleric and son of the assassinated Ayatollah Khamenei, saying, I don't believe he can live in peace. Iran's security chief shot back, warning the U.S. president, be careful not to get eliminated yourself. This after Trump threatened to rain fire and fury on Iran, warning the regime against stopping the world's flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, now at a standstill and sending gas prices soaring. But the White House insists that won't last long.
U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them.
So when will it all end? The White House and Secretary of War both say that's up to President Trump to determine when Iran is no longer a direct threat to America. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
Investigators call it a national security incident. 2 gunmen opening fire on the U.S. consulate in Toronto early this morning. Tonight, investigators from Toronto Police and the RCMP are trying to determine not just who fired the shots, but why. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the latest.
A heavy police presence outside the U.S. consulate on University Avenue before sunrise. The front door of the building showing evidence of being shot at. Hanging inside, a portrait of U.S. President Donald Trump.
Whether it's a terrorist event or not, that'll be subject to the investigation that will be undertaken in the coming days and weeks.
The RCMP and federal agencies are working in tandem with Toronto Police, searching for this suspect vehicle, a white Honda CR-V. They say it stopped in front of the U.S. consulate around 4:30 this morning.
2 individuals emerged from the vehicle, discharged at what appears to be a handgun at the front of the building, and then got back into their vehicle and drove southbound.
While people were inside the heavily fortified building, no injuries were reported, and it wasn't until an hour later an officer was flagged down in the area. The forensic identification team has been on scene for several hours. In fact, right now, team members are on a ladder photographing evidence which appears to be bullet holes which were shot at the front of the building.
When they did it at 5:30 in the morning, they knew they weren't going to jeopardize lives. But they're making an obvious statement here.
As investigators work to determine who is responsible for the shooting and their motive, Premier Doug Ford shared his personal opinion that the violence could be linked to terrorist sleeper cells.
I believe there's sleeper cells all over the world, as we know. They're in the U.S., they're in Canada here, and we have to weed these people out and hold them accountable.
The RCMP say they don't have information to provide on sleeper cells that may or may not exist in Canada. The violence comes during the ongoing conflict between the United States, Iran, and Israel. In Toronto last week, 3 synagogues were hit by gunfire, and Mayor Olivia Chow says anti-Semitic incidents spike when international tensions rise.
This cannot stand. Toronto's Jewish community has the right to practice their faith and culture.
Police stopped short of confirming a motive, but say there will be heightened security at the U.S. and Israeli embassies and consulate buildings in both Toronto and Ottawa. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Alberta's NDP tried unsuccessfully for a vote of non-confidence in the UCP government over the handling of separation talk in the province.
Be it resolved that the Legislative Assembly does not have confidence in the government due to its ongoing failure to renounce separatism, which has severely damaged relations between First Nations and the government and is incompatible with respect for treaty rights.
Naheed Nenshi put forward the motion, but the government holds a big majority and shot down the debate. The move by the NDP followed calls from the Assembly of Treaty Chiefs, who unanimously voted non-confidence in Danielle Smith's government.
We are doing something that we will not stand for any of this talk of separation. We knew that the vote wouldn't pass. We knew what we were in for when we came to this legislature. We've seen it time and time again, the disrespect that the MLAs have for our people in those rooms.
The Chiefs say Alberta's referendum question infringes on their treaty rights and that they signed treaties with the Crown, not with Alberta. The social media platform TikTok will be allowed to continue operating in Canada after agreeing to enhance security for users. In 2024, the federal government ordered TikTok to take its business out of the country because of national security risks. However, Ottawa never banned the app. A federal court reversed that order in January and demanded another review. Ottawa now says TikTok can keep its business in Canada. In turn, the platform will enhance privacy protections and has agreed to invest in the country's cultural sector. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Some interesting weather coming our way across northeastern Ontario, Tony, over the course of the next couple of days. Forecast radar, this is the system that will affect us between now and Sunday. Some snow, some mixed precipitation, and a lot more. Some snow, ice pellets, freezing rain, crazy temperatures too. A bit of a variation as well, so we'll take a look at that momentarily. Meanwhile, we've got overnight conditions, 5 centimeters of snow, ice pellets and snow in Greater Sudbury -6, Sault Ste. Marie 2 to 4 centimeters, Timmins -12, few clouds, Temiskaming Shores a couple of centimeters, -8, North Bay again a couple of centimeters at -4. Moosonee, relatively clear at -24, but with the wind chill, a lot colder. Kapuskasing-Hearst, -16, a few clouds. Wawa, 2 to 4 centimeters, -3. Gore Bay, -3, 2 to 4. And rain and freezing rain in Parry Sound, -2. Here we go. Sudbury Nickel Belt, 2 to 4 centimeters tomorrow during the day. More at night, 2 to 4. -3 your high. Thursday, chance of snow. Snow on Friday. Chance of snow Saturday. And everyone's talking about Sunday now. Snow in the forecast. And more snow come Monday at -9 your expected high. In Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. -3 for tomorrow. -5 Thursday with the sunshine. So some areas will get a couple of days of sunshine like Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma. Chance of snow Friday, more sunshine. Mr. Sunshine is back on Saturday. Sunday, some snow. Chance of snow on Monday. Again, that high of -9. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 5 to 10 centimeters tomorrow, 10 more centimeters tomorrow evening. -7 your high, -10 chance of snow Thursday, Friday chance of snow. Sunshine makes its appearance on Saturday at -6, chance of snow Sunday, and more of the same Monday, -8 and -13 your daytime highs. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, 5 to 10 centimeters tomorrow, 5 more tomorrow evening. Chance of snow Thursday, chance of snow Friday, chance of snow Saturday, the chance of snow Sunday, and snow on Monday, -11 your daytime high. Take a look at these evening temperatures. -21 on Thursday, -16 Friday, -22 by next Monday. Let's have a look now at what's happening in North Bay and West Nipissing. Always interesting with the weather forecast here. Along that Highway 17 corridor, 2 to 4 centimeters tomorrow during the day. Pretty well the same tomorrow night. Daytime high of 0. Chance of snow Thursday, snow Friday. Chance of snow Saturday, snow on Sunday, snow on Monday. The temperature is -2, -1, and -7. So there you go. Nothing but the facts for the next 7 days. Let's have a look at the pick of the day. Thank you so much, Carol Knott. The Tatuan sunset, just a beautiful shot. This was before the havoc approached Northeastern Ontario, so we appreciate that one, Carol. Keep it up. We'll see what happens with tomorrow's pick of the day. 17-year-old from Greater Sudbury has donated teddy bears to kids afflicted with scoliosis. We'll have that story coming up from Madison Merrier after the break.
Tomorrow.
That's the smoking gun.
Video that shows criminals faking crashes for insurance money.
More of the challenges that we're facing is that they're getting very sophisticated.
An inside look at the fight against the fraudsters driving up your premiums. W5 investigates tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Today's vehicles are safer than ever before because they're loaded with new technology designed to keep you in your lane, control your speed, and prevent crashes. But all these advances come at a price. And now more insurance companies are writing off vehicles even after they're in minor accidents. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Honestly, this has been a real nightmare trying to get this car repaired.
Teresa Baton of Mississauga says she parked her BMW sedan in front of her bank, went in to do some business, and when she came out, it had been sideswiped by another vehicle.
I walked over to my car and I could not believe how much damage was done to the front driver's side fender.
The car is a 2011 BMW 328i with 213,000 kilometers. Despite being a bit older, Baton says she recently spent $10,000 on repairs on the car and it was in excellent condition. That's why she was shocked to be told by her insurance company it was considered a total loss and would be written off.
The first thing they want to do is write off my car. And I said, no, that's unacceptable.
Baton says she was presented with a settlement offer of $8,900, which she refused. After more than 2 months of negotiations, she's holding firm she wants her car fixed.
If my car was completely damaged and not drivable, then yes, that would make sense. but the car starts and it drives.
The Automotive Industries Association of Canada recently told CTV News cars are being deemed a total loss more often due to expensive parts and delays to get them. Repairs have also increased in price, and so have rental car costs. Safety systems using cameras, radar, and sensors are also expensive to replace.
Total loss is typically just the most economical way to settle the claim. It's just a mathematical decision.
Baton is with TD Insurance. When we reached out to TD, a spokesperson said claims are assessed individually based on the details and terms of the policy. This matter has been resolved after working directly with our client. TD told Baton it would now repair her car instead of writing it off, which was great news for her.
Thank you, CTV. My car is getting repaired. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. So excited.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Meals on Wheels in Sudbury is a non-profit group that provides a vital service. Healthy, hot, and frozen meals are prepared and delivered to seniors, shut-ins, and those unable to prepare meals for themselves. And right now, the organization needs volunteers. CTV's Alain Everson tells us more.
86-year-old Andre Brisebois has been volunteering for the past 33 years, making deliveries for Meals on Wheels. He enjoys the interaction and helping others.
It's in my genes, I guess. My parents were the same.
Sudbury Meals on Wheels is a nonprofit that has been operating for close to 55 years. Freshly cooked, nutritious meals are carefully prepared and packaged in a licensed and inspected kitchen to deliver to clients 5 days a week.
Meals on Wheels is fully volunteer-based. We are always looking for volunteers because we have about 13 routes a day that go out to serve over 300 clients.
The base cost of the meals to clients is $10.25. On Tuesday, local MPPs volunteered to make deliveries.
It's a great service. I mean, the cost of staying in a retirement home or long-term care where someone's preparing meals for you is pretty expensive. And so with Meals on Wheels, seniors can stay in their homes longer, which they prefer to do, and have that independence without sort of the extra hassle of making meals.
Most of the time, the volunteers know the clients because many volunteers have been here for a long time, so there'll be a fun chat happening once the meal gets delivered, and the people are always grateful.
Meals on Wheels Sudbury is currently having to pay people to help out because of a shortage of volunteers. A cost the nonprofit would rather spend on programming. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
A 17-year-old is showing compassion for young patients at Health Sciences North in Sudbury and the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. CTV's Madison Merrier has that story.
Maya Benoit fundraised for 2 months to purchase teddy bears for children going through the same thing she did.
Even if I only help one kid out of all this, that's one kid who doesn't feel like this alone in the same way that I did, and that just makes me really, really happy.
Benoit says she has spent plenty of time in hospitals due to her 2019 scoliosis diagnosis. She is now feeling better after spinal fusion surgery and wants to spread the message of hope to kids who are embarrassed of the medical device.
They have a back brace, just like a scoliosis patient would, and they can come on and off, which is pretty cool because some of them have surgery scars and stitches underneath, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, the brace is just like the kind a scoliosis patient would wear, so I think it would help a lot for a little kid to see something like a stuffed animal that has the same thing that they do, because you never really see the braces anywhere.
And it'll also be a good teaching tool for our child life counselors to bring to patients when we have them in on the floor, and just normalize it. And that's the whole idea. It should be a normal part of their everyday life, and they shouldn't be afraid. So we're hoping that it does change that stigma.
Benoit is thinking of studying nursing in post-secondary school, intending to help kids with scoliosis as she can relate.
It took a really big toll on my mental health, and I realized that it made me feel really alone and really self-conscious. So I really wanted to help other kids not feel the same way.
It makes me feel very proud. It's amazing to see that she didn't just get out of the surgery and go on and be a kid. Like, she decided to try to help other kids, which is amazing.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The top official at Sault Area Hospital is calling it a career. After 37 years in the healthcare sector, Isla Watson announced that she will be stepping down as president and CEO this summer. Watson joined Sault Area Hospital in 2009, ascending to its top job in 2021. In that span, transitioning to the new site and helping establish the Algoma, Ontario health team. The hospital board has begun its recruitment process to find the next president and CEO. They came together for a special event. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Students packed an arena in North Bay to remember Jack Lyons in a memorial hockey exhibition.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
For Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay was packed with about 3,000 cheering students and community members today for the annual Jack Lyons Memorial Hockey Exhibition. 4 hockey games were played throughout the day, all in memory of a young man with autism, Jack Lyons. He was only 17 when he died in 2022. His family continues autism advocacy work on his behalf. Over the past 2 years, the tournament has raised close to $34,000 for autism support.
Just remember Jack, remember kindness, remember special needs in our community for sure. Jack had a passion for life, passion for hockey, and just keep showing that passion for special needs kids in our community.
And proceeds stay in North Bay and are directed to One Kids Place, a children's treatment center. It funds the summer camp program, which is open to between 50 to 60 children a year. The excitement of the Paralympic Winter Games could be felt in Barrie today. That is a look at the free watch party that was held at the Barrie Public Library for today's para-hockey matchup, where Team Canada faced off against Czechia. Community members gathered to cheer on the athletes and share in the energy of the games together. Also in competition today was Logan LaRiviere from Sudbury. He and his guide Joe Hutton finished 12th in qualifying in the men's visually impaired cross-country sprint. Unfortunately, 12th wasn't good enough to move on, but it was the highest placement for a Canadian athlete in the race. Meanwhile, guide Eiley Brooke from North Bay worked with Maddie Mullen to qualify 6th in the women's visually impaired sprint. Mullen and Brooke would be knocked out in the semifinal again, a best finish for Canadian athletes. All of them will compete again tomorrow in their respective 10K classics. Sudbury Performance Group is going to be back on the stage at the Ernie Chekaris Theatre from March 12th to 28th with Jagged Little Pill.
Why are you so petrified of silence?
Alanis Morissette's music comes to life on the stage in the show named for her 1995 breakout album and written by Oscar-winning screenwriter Cody Diablo. The Tony Award-winning musical tackles heavy themes around mental health, addiction, and assault as the character navigates family dynamics.
It does tackle that those issues that we face across the globe, as I say, on a regular basis. This certainly isn't sunshine and rainbows and happiness. This is real life. This is a real life story on stage.
Manistow says this show is a pilot for possibly making the company a professional theater group.
Entertainment brought to you by the Cinefest Red Carpet Patron Program.
Movie award season is entering the home stretch. David Daniel has that, plus TV and streaming news in tonight's Hollywood Report.
This gift can bring fame and fortune.
More honors for the top 2 Oscar contenders. The Writers Guild of America gave Ryan Coogler its original screenplay award for Sinners, while Paul Thomas Anderson took the adapted screenplay prize for One Battle After Another. Each film is favored in its respective screenplay category at Sunday's Academy Awards. The Drew Barrymore Show is sticking around. The actress's syndicated daytime talk show, which has been on for 6 years, has been renewed for 2 more seasons.
This is not you.
Well, my mom worked at Hooters and my father was a pro wrestler. Tell me what's me.
You have fans? It's a popular website.
The official trailer is out for Margot's Got Money Troubles, based on the best-selling novel. Elle Fanning plays a young woman who turns to OnlyFans to support her new baby. Michelle Pfeiffer, Nick Offerman, and Nicole Kidman co-star. The series launches on Apple TV April 15th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A key player in the AI build-out reported earnings today. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
Oracle is a $430 billion company whose stock has plummeted over the past year. It needed some solid numbers, and it got them. Cloud revenue, key for the company. It came in at almost $9 billion US for the latest quarter. That's up 44% from the same period last year. Investors are also focused on how much it's investing to build its AI infrastructure, since the company is taking on significant debt to do it. Oracle confirmed it's spending $50 billion US for 2026. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction to 73.64. West Texas Intermediate down to 86.58. Western Canadian Select is up more than $3 to 77.18. And the TSX gained 81 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $53.56, closing the day at $51.91.58 US an ounce. Silver up $1.33 to end the day at $88.32. Copper moved forward 8 cents to $5.88, and nickel up a nickel, ending the day at $7.87 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
Tony, we've got snow, we've got ice pellets and freezing rain starting this evening, moving into the overnight. So -1 for Greater Sudbury tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters. Continuation from this evening's 5. Timmins, of course, -7, 5 to 10 centimeters in the forecast. Sault Ste. Marie, -3, 5 to 10 centimeters for tomorrow. And in North Bay, 2 to 4 centimeters at 0. Freezing rain, ice pellets, that warning in Parry Sound at +1, and -3, 5 to 10 centimeters in Temiskaming Shore is going to be messy overnight, continuing into tomorrow. Tony.
Thanks, Rick. And if you're driving, be careful. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.